They told him, no, before he even finished his sentence. The panel didn't bother to hide it. One glance at the worn briefcase, the slightly wrinkled shirt from rushing after a toddler, and the word, single dad, on his resume was enough for them to judge him. But what they didn't know was that the man standing in front of them, exhausted, hopeful, and desperate, was about to solve a problem that the CEO had been struggling with for months, in less than 60 seconds. Welcome to Goodness Hub Stories, and before we start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more life-changing stories that touch the heart. Ethan Blake held his breath as the head interviewer, a stern woman with sharp glasses, scanned his resume without emotion. His palms were sweaty, not because he wasn't qualified, but because this job meant survival. His 4-year-old daughter, Maya, was sitting right now in a daycare he was barely able to afford. One more missed payment and she wouldn't be allowed to stay. This job wasn't just a job, it was a lifeline. But as soon as the panel noticed the gap in his employment history, a gap caused by months of handling hospitals, sleepless nights, and the grief of losing his wife, they exchanged looks. Surprised, unimpressed, judging. Mr. Blake, the stern woman finally said, folding her hands. We appreciate your application, but you've been out of work for nearly a year, and you're a full-time single parent. We're looking for someone who can give us full commitment. Someone stable. Stable. The word hit Ethan like a slap. As if raising a child alone made him unstable. As if fighting through tragedy made him less worthy. As if being a devoted father was a weakness. I assure you, Ethan tried to speak, voice cracking slightly, I can handle. We'll let you know, she cut him off, already turning to the next folder as if he were invisible. The interview was over. He hadn't even been given a chance. Ethan walked out of the room slowly, every step heavier than the last. His chest tightened with the familiar fear of not being enough. Not enough income, not enough time, not enough support. He didn't know how he would tell Maya, his bright little girl who waited every day by the window, asking if Daddy found his new job yet. He reached the elevator, pressed the button, and lowered his head. That's when the doors nearby swung open sharply, and a tall woman in a navy blue suit stormed out. Her face was tense, frustrated, like someone fighting a battle that refused to end. She carried a tablet in her hand and was muttering to her assistant. No one can fix this, she said angrily. Not one of the experts we hired. Not one of the programmers we flew in from out of state. I swear, this glitch is going to ruin the entire launch. The assistant fumbled with the tablet. Ma'am, your meeting starts in 10 minutes with the board. They want solutions. I don't have solutions. The woman snapped. Ethan froze. He recognized her immediately from the company website. Victoria Hale, the CEO. The assistant tried to calm her, but Victoria's frustration only grew. We can't delay the product launch again. The media is already circling us, investors are threatening to pull out, and this software bug, this stupid, impossible bug, is breaking our entire system. She stopped, breathing heavily, pressing her fingers to her forehead. Ethan felt something pull him forward. That problem, he knew it. He recognized the interface on the screen from the few seconds he glanced at the poster in the lobby. He understood the glitch almost instantly. The system wasn't broken, it was looping due to a recursive error triggered by a misconfigured API call. He had solved the exact same issue years ago for a smaller company. But Victoria Hale wasn't about to listen to a rejected job applicant. Or was she? Before he could second-guess himself, Ethan stepped forward gently. Excuse me, I think I can help. Victoria turned slowly, eyes narrowed. And you are? Ethan Blake. I just had an interview here. It didn't go well, but I recognize that issue. You're dealing with a recursive overflow caused by conflicting command sequences. If you bypass the secondary call and redirect the main thread, the loop should break. Her assistant blinked. What? Victoria stared at Ethan like he was speaking another language. You're saying you know what's causing this? She asked, voice cold but curious. Yes, Ethan said, hands steady. And I can fix it. If you give me a chance. Victoria hesitated just one heartbeat, then thrust the tablet toward him. Fine, show me. Ethan stepped aside, tapped twice, swiped through the error log, and typed 3 short lines of code. The screen froze for a second, then the software rebooted. Smooth, clean, perfect. Victoria gasped. Her assistant nearly dropped a stack of files. That's impossible, Victoria whispered, eyes widening as she navigated through the restored program. We've had experts working on this for months. Months. Ethan shrugged awkwardly. It's a common mistake, easy to overlook. For the first time, the CEO really looked at him. Not as a liability, not as a single dad, but as someone with skill. Come with me, she said suddenly. Before he could respond, she marched back through the hallway, forcing Ethan to sprint after her. They entered the large glass conference room where the same interview panel sat stiffly, preparing for their next candidate. Stop everything, Victoria commanded. The panel froze. This man, she pointed at Ethan, just fixed the problem our entire tech team couldn't solve in months. A problem we were about to lose millions over. The head interviewer blinked in shock. He did. Victoria crossed her arms. Yes. And you rejected him. The woman swallowed. We weren't aware. You weren't aware because you didn't bother to ask, Victoria snapped. You judged him before he even opened his mouth. Ethan shifted uncomfortably. He wasn't used to someone defending him. Victoria turned to him. Mr. Blake, would you be willing to accept a position directly under my department? Full benefits, flexible hours, and a salary higher than what this department offers. Ethan's breath caught in his chest. Wait, you're offering me the job? No, she smiled. I'm offering you a better one. For the first time in months, Ethan felt the weight on his shoulders lighten. He nodded, barely able to speak. Yes, I would. Victoria shook his hand firmly. Welcome aboard. The panel looked stunned, embarrassed, and speechless. Ethan left the room feeling a strength he had forgotten he had. He walked outside into the fresh air, pulled out his phone, and called Maya's daycare. Tell her, Ethan said, smiling through tears, that Daddy got the job. When he picked her up later, Maya threw her tiny arms around his neck. You did it, Daddy. I knew it. Ethan held her tight. Yeah, baby, we did. And somewhere at the top floor of the building, the CEO who had once been drowning in problems was now staring at her tablet, smiling at the miraculous fix that came not from a renowned expert, but from a man who simply needed someone to believe in him. Before we end this story, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Goodness Hub Stories for more inspiring tales that remind us, sometimes the world needs the strength of a single dad to solve the impossible.